everyone, and welcome back to the Women's Leadership Circle. Today, I am absolutely thrilled to introduce Kaya, who is joining us to talk about her upcoming workshop, which is the Winter's Wisdom. Kaya is a passionate facilitator and coach who supports people in connecting deeply with themselves and accessing their inner resources. She offers spinal energetics sessions, somatic exploration, and integrative coaching, blending somatic awareness, body wisdom, and her psychotherapy training in Austria. So she's here with us today to guide us in understanding how slowing down and listening to our nervous system can bring clarity, resourcefulness, and presence into our lives. Kaya, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for that introduction and yeah, for welcoming me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, beginning with our interview, I want to ask what first drew you to spinal energetics, and how did it personally change the way you relate to your own body and inner resources?
Mm, yeah, thank you. So, I had been looking for a really resonant somatic training for quite a while, actually, a couple of years before I found spinal energetics. And I guess this quest started when I dove into my own journey to connect more deeply within myself and explore all of my depths and all of the challenges and the beautiful gifts that came from that. And it became very, very clear that inner work, if we want to do inner work, we need to work with our bodies. Like, that's the vessel that we live in this world. Um, how our nervous system breathes, like how we feel, how we move in our body. It has such a huge impact on how we feel and how we can show up in the world and live. So I had been looking for the right training. I found many things like breath work, craniosacral therapy. There are so many people offering somatic work that have a lot of depth and gifts. And yeah, but it wasn't until I found spinal energetics that I felt this huge falling into place of this is what I want to learn, this is what I want to deepen, and this is what I want to practice. And it happened through encountering it on social media, and I just saw this video of a client working with a practitioner, and the client just moving in, like lying on a massage table and moving in what felt like very natural, subtle movements, and it just felt like it was so pure and so deep and like not performed in any way and not like protocoled, but like that was it was just so real and so fascinating. So it all aligned super well that I could join an upcoming training that actually didn't have any seats left, but then someone sprung off and I could get this place. It felt super synchronous, and there was a lot of integration time after the training. And how it has impacted me is, really deepening the connection to myself, feeling more strength within me, feeling more power, more stillness, I guess safety in myself. And also deepening my journey into being alive more and showing up more and going into more colors, like embracing being seen and embracing joy again, and like working through all of the layers that were above my joy. So it's been a huge blessing, a very huge blessing. Yeah. A lot more I could
Wow.
say, but I'll leave it
Yeah.
at that.
Thank you for sharing that. I love how
Mm.
you highlighted the personal journey aspect.
Mm.
about how connecting with your body can open up these, inner spaces. We often don't notice such things, and it's inspiring to hear how this practice has shifted your own awareness and resourcefulness.
Mm. Yeah, it really has.
So, for someone who has never experienced spinal energetics before, like I've never experienced spinal energetics, uh, this is my first time I've heard of this word, spinal energetics. So, how would you describe what happens in a group session like Winter's Wisdom?
Yeah. So, first of all, spinal energetics, just to describe briefly what this modality is a modality that works with the nervous system, specifically through working also with the spine, since there's a lot of communication within our central nervous system running through the meninges, some parts of our spine. And through a combination of music and sound, and when it happens in person, also subtle touches alongside the spine or also the body, um, is a shift into more of a parasympathetic nervous system state, where we move into feeling from the sympathetic nervous system state of doing and being out there in the world, like moving internally. And what this looks like concretely in their session, Winter's Wisdom, is that we will meet together on Zoom. We will take some time to land and arrive together, which is really the crucial foundation of any inner work or somatic work that we do. Um, Being able to breathe, to land, to feel ourselves in our room, in our physical room, and also in the digital room with the other people here. So, landing in the safety. And like just speaking about it, I notice how I'm breathing differently, and I'm moving more into this parasympathetic state. And yeah, with some guided body awareness practices or small invitations, I will invite people to land in their body, tune into their body. This can, yeah, will look like some gentle touch, some gentle stroking. Yeah, and this will help us to, um, as I said, like to switch our state, to switch our mode from maybe all of the tasks that people have been going throughout the day to this space, this oasis is how the word that's coming up for me, of going inwards. And then I will invite people to lie down on their back in a way where I can still see their body on the camera, because it's important for me to see what's happening so I can connect with people. And I will play different music, relaxing music, activating music, a mix, a journey. And I'll also be making some sounds, and I will be connecting with different parts of people's bodies and invite them to breathe, for example, into their hips or into the neck or the shoulders. And I will guide people to connect with some areas of their body that where they might not have been feeling too much, or maybe also where a lot is going on. This also works with pendulation, so going into some intensity, but also residing into what's resourceful. Um, yeah, and this helps people connect to what is here, especially the areas of our bodies that we might make some detours around when we breathe or when we feel into our system. Kind of similarly to how I like to describe this to like when we get injured, we move into positions where we don't put a lot of weight on a broken ankle, for example. But at some point, the ankle recovers, and we need to put some weight on it again. If not, we keep we keep limping or walking in an unbalanced way, and this happens physically and emotionally. And in this work, the person receiving the work, of course, decides where they're ready to go to. Not everything is ready to be opened or to be felt into, but with some resonant and attuned support on the outside, we can we can feel through some things and we can move through some things, and that can open up a lot of our inner resources, our contact with our resources. Yeah.
Yeah, uh, that's such a clear and accessible way of explaining it. I can imagine someone feeling both supported and guided while still exploring at their own pace. It sounds like a
Mm.
beautiful balance of structure and freedom.
Beautiful. I love how you're putting that. Yes.
Why is the winter such a powerful time for this kind of inner work, and what makes this session especially fitting for this season?
Mm. Yeah, I love that you're picking up on the winter's theme. Yes, so um, I love this orientation towards the natural cycles that we're in, and many cultures and traditions practice that and look at like what is happening outside and how is that impacting us inside on our inside. So winter is really this natural invitation to slow down, right? The days are shorter, energy is often less, there are often less external social commitments. We don't spend as much time outside, but we move inside more. And yeah, if we look at this cycle very briefly, and spring is this period of sprouting and potential and emergence, like things literally sprouting out of the ground. And then summer is where um, plants and flowers and trees, they take up their most space. Like they blossom, fullest expression, like moving outside expansion. And then autumn is this harvesting of the fruit that has been growing, and also shedding of layers. And then winter is this deepening of shedding and this phase of the most stillness, right? I mean, conserving our energy. Um, Many animals do that to a much larger extent, going into hibernation mode. Yeah, it's a beautiful season to um, become still, and from that stillness, also movement can come, which is the season turning into spring, which the session will be in February. So that's, yeah, already the days are becoming longer, and from the darkness of winter, more light is coming. So it's also this beautiful paradox of needing it all. Like we need the darkness and the light, and the stillness and the movement, and one feeds the other. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes so much of sense. It's very beautiful to see how you connect the seasonal energy with the opportunity for introspection and for slowing down. It really frames the workshop as not just a practice, but also as a seasonal ritual for self-care and self-reflection.
Mm.
So, what does listening to the nervous system actually mean in practice, and why is this kind of listening so important in our fast-paced lives?
Yeah. Yeah. So what it means in practice, is pausing for a moment, feeling what's there. I love the support of some somatic cues, like for example, placing a hand on our heart or placing another hand on our stomach. Um, and just breathing and just noticing, like noticing how is my breath flowing in this moment. And for those listening, I even invite you to tune into that with me now, or you too, Fatima, if you want to. That's like, yeah, this noticing and listening. And sometimes we shy away from doing that because there's some discomfort there, which it's like it's natural for us as animals or human beings to avoid discomfort. Um, but it's important to connect with our body because otherwise our body and our nervous system like are screaming. They have to scream louder and louder, and what we don't listen to turns into symptoms and it turns into illness. For example, yeah, listening to our restlessness or our tiredness is crucial, so we know when to move and so we know when to rest. And taking that seriously is important if we want to live in alignment with our resources, and yeah, if we want to connect to our strength and our like our vitality and all of that, because if we don't, yeah, it shows up one way or another. And especially in our fast-paced lives with getting so many notifications and so many distractions in the outside, where it's so easy to lose ourselves in. um yeah, it's important to keep coming
Absolutely.
back to ourselves.
Yeah, that's such an important reminder, I would say. In a world where we are constantly multitasking and rushing behind things, taking the time to tune into your body's cues is very valuable and very appreciable. I
Mm.
love that you're helping people cultivate this skill. It's almost like giving themselves the permission to rest and reset.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to add a little bit about the like what does that look on a practical note? Because I started to go into it and then I got into the why. But it can be very simple, like just these moments of noticing, noticing when we get tense during the day, when our breathing becomes shallow, and literally taking a minute or 3 minutes of just placing our hands on our chest or and feeling that gravity or whatever it is that's here, or allowing us to breathe in whatever way. Often, when there's tension there or stress, it can be super helpful to just breathe out loud and to do just to let that excess energy move for a minute. Of course, that's easier when we're by ourselves, or just allowing us to shake for a moment if there's a lot of stress or a lot of energy there. Or when we're really tired, just allowing ourselves to lean back for a minute and maybe stroking our face or touching our face very gently or touching some part of our body. Like, it doesn't have to be big. It's these small practices of meeting ourselves that we also need to practice and remember and keep coming back to. But I wanted to make it a little bit more concrete.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Very beautifully explained, Kaya.
Thank you.
So, your work weaves together somatic practice, coaching, and psychotherapy training, as you said. So, how do these three different elements come together in the way you hold and guide somatic energetics, a spinal energetics group space?
Yeah. Yeah. So you've named the different areas that I have trained in and that I am training in and that I'm working in that complement each other in beautiful ways. And um, I just briefly want to flag here that I'm not a licensed psychotherapist yet. I'm in training of psychotherapy. So the session, at the somatic session, won't be a psychotherapeutic session, which I think is
Okay.
clear, but just also framing that explicitly.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it impacts how I invite the space, and like the big centering around safety and what that safety requires, because of course it's not as simple as saying this is a safe space. Our bodies need to feel that safety, and that can take a while, and that also requires different things for people. But that awareness for safety and also trauma sensitivity, that's yeah, what my psychotherapy training brings in here. Also my coaching practice, which is very much focused on what is unfolding in the here and now, without an agenda to change it. And when there is an agenda to want to change it and to want to be somewhere, to look at that and to go into parts work with the different parts in us that have many different ideas for where they want us to be, with the most beautiful intentions. And yeah, so this focus of being with what is in the here and now, and this deep attunement to very subtle cues of the breath changing, or a hand moving a bit. All of that comes from the somatic training and practice that yeah, deeply informs this session, and also the structure of it, like the different sections. We don't go straight into this, but there's a build up, a warming up, and also a closing of it that also includes looking forward and taking what we experienced with us. Yeah.
That integration is fascinating. It's inspiring how you're able to meet people wherever they are, whether it's through conversation, through body sensing, or through imagination, and hold a space that's both safe and expansive for growth. When you
Mm.
imagine someone joining the session, and allowing themselves to truly slow down and listen within, what kind of inner quality or relationship with themselves do you hope begins to unfold?
Yeah. Ha. Most of all, just a connection to whatever is here. And sometimes that can be profound peace and bliss, and extraordinary peak experiences. And sometimes that can also be meeting frustration or meeting built up sadness, meeting some discomfort that's here. So this work is not intended to like be another space where we need to get somewhere. We need to become something in a certain way. Um, but instead, it's yeah, strengthening us to be with what is here. And paradoxically, that opens up the most beautiful experiences and the most like beautiful contact with ourselves, because through this contact is where we deepen into, from my experience and also from my frameworks of what's happening in this work and in these processes. It's through being with what is here, we deepen into acceptance, into meeting ourselves as we are, self recognition, meeting ourselves in these qualities that we all inhibit, that are all within us, that are sometimes blocked through a lot of our endeavors to do everything right, or to perform something, or to get somewhere, or to be good, or I mean, so many things that I could put into this list now. Um, yeah. So my intention for this is for people to connect to what's here and be supported in this process, because it's a practice that we need to learn, for it to become our natural way of being again, to be in contact with ourselves, and through that also with others and with our bigger world. And there are so many vast resources along the way that we can tap into and live from more and more and more, ranging from love to strength to peace to excitement and joy, to clarity. And yeah, I love um, walking next to people on that way and supporting that. And the winter's wisdom connect within session is one invitation for that, to come into contact with how we are in this moment.
So, such a beautiful vision you've got. I love that you emphasized compassion and curiosity towards ourselves. I think that's something we all need more of in our daily lives. And this
Mm.
gentle reminder to explore, to connect, and to be fully present with ourselves is very important in our daily life.
Mm.
So, thank you so much, Kaya, for sharing your wisdom, your experiences, and giving us a glimpse into what winter's wisdom offers. So, for our WLC members and our YouTube family watching, if you are curious about exploring deeper connection with yourself, slowing down, and listening to your inner resources, I highly encourage you to join Kaya's session. You will be getting further updates on the session on our WLC homepage. So please don't forget to share and like and subscribe to this channel to get regular updates. And Kaya, it's been such a pleasure to host you today and learn from you. Thank you
Mm.
again for being here.
Thank you, Fatima, for your super kind and warm and genuine facilitation throughout this, and your questions and reflections that have felt so aligned and on point. And yeah, I'm very grateful for
Thank
your
you, Kaya.
energy.
Looking
Thank you.
forward to seeing you. Let's meet on the workshop day.
Yes.
Yes. Bye
Beautiful.
bye. Very excited to see
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.